welcome to Michigan Living. I'm Jeff Spencer, and we have a little. This has turned into a financial news issue, and I think that everybody should know about this, even though it's not really being put out in the news a lot. And this is probably going to be affecting a lot of you about what's going to happen there. Seems like that Biden is sending 5 million barrels of U.S. oil to Europe and Asia despite soaring gas prices. You heard it. Biden is sending our oil reserves to other countries to help them out so that they have the oil that they need, and so it reduces their gas prices, etc. Yeah. So, let's see what this thing is all about, shall we? All right. Seems like that the price of gas is displayed on a sign at an Exxon, all right, Friday, July 1st in Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right. Now, the U.S. has allowed more than 5 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to be exported to Europe and Asia. A move that contradicts President Biden's statements about trying to bring down the cost of soaring prices at the pump. For who? for Europe and Asia? The exports are part of a broader and historic release of 1 million barrels per day through October from the reserves. One of several efforts by Mr. Biden to blunt high fuel costs that have had minimal impact. Well, yeah. Phillips 66, one of the country's largest oil refiners, has shipped roughly 470,000 barrels from a reserve storage site in Texas to Italy, according to Reuters. 470,000 of our oil reserves have gone to Italy. Atlantic Trading and Marketing, part of French oil company Total Energies, exported more than 1.1 million. So we're sending stuff to Italy, France. The outlet reported that the U.S. crude from reserves has also been bound for the Netherlands, India, and China. We're shipping oil to China. In total, Mr. Biden plans to release up to 260 million barrels of oil from our domestic reserves from October 21st through October 22nd. So, yeah, basically is that we're going to be taking 260 million barrels of our oil that we paid for and just giving it to these other countries to help them out. There were roughly 618 million barrels at the end of September of 2021. The reserve is expected to be depleted to less than half, to about 400 million, the lowest since 1984. The average price for a gallon of regular gas was $4.78 as of Wednesday, according to AAA. It has come down slightly in the past several weeks from its previous high of roughly $5 a gallon, but costs remain far above that a year ago when it was $3.13. The White House in recent days has doubled down on its criticism of big oil by reiterating its call for energy companies and gas stations to trim their profits due to Russia's war in Ukraine that has exacerbated the lack of global supply. Sometimes you just can't make this crap up, I'm telling you. Yeah. So now, so we got all this crap about what kind of issues we're having here, but it's now all of a sudden Biden is literally taking from our U.S. oil reserves and sending them to other countries to help them. What about us? If the Biden admin indefinitely continues releasing oil from the SPR at its current rate, the entire supply could be gone by early November of next year. We'll have no oil reserves whatsoever by November of next year. Sounds like a plan. So, yeah, we need to be able to take that into consideration, and so that you know, knowledge is something that if you have knowledge about something, then you can be able to plan for it, and plan for a worst case scenario. Okay. As Americans struggled with record high gasoline and diesel prices, the Biden administration is tapping the United States strategic reserves and sending oil overseas. Of course, why not? The Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, is a complex of 4 sites with deep underground storage caverns created in salt domes along the Texas and Louisiana Gulf states. It's managed by the Department of Energy and was created in 1975 to offset any future disruptions to the oil supply. It was designed for emergency use such as natural disasters and events like the OPEC oil embargo against the U.S. back in the 70s. Not for offsetting high prices due to policy decisions or marketing conditions. Currently, SPR is the largest known emergency oil supply in the world. Yeah, no kidding. In March, President Biden ordered the release of 1 million barrels of oil per day from the SPR through the month of October. The SPR has now reached its lowest level since 1986. As of July 6, the total inventory is only about 492 million barrels. The maximum total withdrawal capacity, the most that they can be able to ship out of any of these reserves, is 4.4 million barrels per day. That's the most they can be able to send out of our oil reserves, maximum. If that amount of oil was released based on current inventory, it would take only 111 days to completely deplete our entire oil reserves. If the Biden administration definitely continues releasing oil from the SPR at this current rate, the entire supply will be gone, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's interesting. A former DOE official has gone on record calling the release of the nation's emergency oil reserves as illegal. The Biden administration's announcement that it will release 180 million barrels of crude oil from SPR over 6 months is unlawful and harms our national security. Ooh. Ouch. But, the basic gist of this is that, yes, when it comes down to it, is that right now it's for that. There's a big deal, and there's a lot of questions about releasing the oil and stuff like that, even for helping our own costs and stuff like that. But on top of that, he's also releasing oil, our oil that we bought and paid for, to all these other countries, which I've already mentioned. I don't know. I just don't know. So, what to take from this? There's always there's always something to learn from everything. Okay? So, don't assume anything and stuff like that, because there's eventually whatever oil we send out of the reserve, eventually we got to buy that oil back and then replace it. All right. Who's going to be paying for that? I highly doubt Italy is going to be giving us any money for this oil, or China. China, really? Well, I guess Biden. So. I mean, it's just, yeah. So just as long as you know and stuff about what's going on and stuff, you can be able to plan ahead. All right? It's important. All right. If you have knowledge and you know your options and stuff, then you can be able to make the best decisions for your future and for your lives. Thank you very much. And I certainly hope that you guys have a great day. Have a great one. Bye-bye.